Welcome back, everybody, to Waadaplaya Concussion Sub Series. It was a T20 series between England and India, and Kapil Dev was the player of the series because he had some comments to make about Virat Kohli. To talk about the third T20I, which Sanjay Dubey gave no chance to India when the series began, but India went 2.2 is to 1. But it was a close enough game compared to the previous two games, Sanjay.
Yeah, the first two games were very, I think, as boring as T20 cricket could be. Third game, Sunday game, very high scoring ground, and yeah, it was very close game, relatively close game. England in the end won comfortably, but yeah, few talking points, few things to ponder over for India in the next T20 series when they play.
Absolutely, absolutely. So England chose to bat today, and I think you mentioned that during our WhatsApp conversation that Nottingham is a tough ground to defend and a high-scoring ground. And of course, Dawid Malan, who was top T20 batter for a couple of years, then went away. Not sure what happened, but he had a magnificent match. He scored a brilliant 77, I think, along with Liam Livingstone 40 plus got in England 200 plus. So, what do you make out of England's batting performance compared to the first two matches of the series?
Obviously, these are technically day games. Even the Southampton game, which was on a weekday, was effectively a day game because the sun's out for such a long time. So I think day game, most people would prefer batting first because the pitches will get slower. So I think batting wise, England had a great performance. 200 is at par, is a par score in Nottingham generally. So 15 runs extra, and in the end, that's the winning margin. Pretty much for England. So yeah, very good batting performance by England. Quite a surprising combination of the team, I would say, because on a short ground, high scoring ground, you would expect to have an extra bowling option or go with the five genuine bowlers, but we decided otherwise. And yeah, I think in the end, it was that 15-20 runs extra, which we could have probably saved, is what has resulted in this game. But what a brilliant knock by uh, by Surya Kumar Yadav. We'll come to that obviously.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the India selection. Again, four changes today. And I think none of the three games had a consistent 11. Thoughts on the four changes today?
So I was expecting Bhuvi to be rested. Avish Khan getting a game good. Pant obviously retained his place as an opener, something which they've tried. The most surprising one for me was Shreyas Iyer because Huda was in such red hot form. I was expecting either Hardik Pandya to play, or if not, at least Huda, so that you potentially had a six bowling option, but he might not have been used in any case. But yeah, I think Shreyas Iyer's was a bit surprising selection for me. One thing which clearly tells me is that India's got no thoughts of developing any all round because you've carried Venkatesh Iyer pretty much the entire UK Ireland series. He's not got a game, so yeah, a bit surprising, but it is what it is.
And they also decided to give Ravi Bishnoi a chance, Yuzvendra Chahal. I think they're still working out the combination of leg spinners. I can understand why Shreyas Iyer was given a chance, but how unlucky is Arshdeep Singh? Only one game. He's been what with the squad for last three series. So, any thoughts about him? Is he confirmed for Australia or is he still?
I don't think apart from Bumrah and almost certainly Bhuvneshwar Kumar, anyone's certain to be on that plane to Australia. So I was a bit surprised. Yes, darling. Suman uncle, we'll say hi in a minute, okay? So yeah, I think Arshdeep should get more games when these bigger players are potentially rested or given a break or whatnot. But I think definitely he's got the potential to make it to the side, just like anyone else. Obviously, Umran Malik also got a game. Yeah, so yeah, unlucky. But if there is one game where and one ground where you would want to sit out as a bowler, this was it.
Absolutely. And Aniruddha mentions that Rahul Tripathi should have gotten a chance. I don't know if Rahul Tripathi was in the squad for England. I think he was part of the Ireland squad.
Yeah, Ireland scored, and then I think he was probably for the first T20I. It's just so confusing because the players being rested for the first game because of the test match. So yeah, all a bit confusing. I think not likely that Rahul Tripathi will get much games going forward, considering that Huda's whatever chances he's got, he's grabbed them with both hands. So I think if anything, they'll consider him. But yeah, good talent. He should keep continuing what he's doing for the IPL side, and then hope that whenever there is a tour happening alongside the test matches, then he'll get a crack. So yeah, I don't think his chances is going to come soon.
What on Umran Malik? I was thinking that IPL probably it's a batsman's game, so people batters have worked him out. But even international cricket seems like he's a run machine. Unfortunately, he gave what 56 runs in 4 overs. That is 14 runs per over. So something to think about for Umran. Anything to worry about India?
Um, they're doing the right thing by giving him these chances because I mean, as we mentioned on another podcast we were doing, he's once in a generation talent. Someone who can consistently bowl at that pace. Considering the World Cup is in Australia, he can only get better. Small ground, not many fast bowlers or any bowlers would do well. So he did come back relatively well. I think the second over he bowled, first over went for plenty. So he's still learning the tricks of the trade. So and he's got the pace, which is the key essential for a fast bowler to make it big in the international scene. So I mean, good luck to him. I hope they keep giving him more chances.
Yeah, and how is the combination of bowlers coming along for World Cup? Andy's talking about. So Bumrah, Shami, Bhuvi between Yuzi and Bishnoi, and then you have Avesh, Siraj. Yeah, Avesh and Siraj. We have to make a decision. So there are seven bowling options. So what do you think?
I think Avish has got a better chance than Siraj because he's the designated death bowler in IPL as well. He does well in the power play generally. But I think the problem would come if selecting all rounders. Like, for example, Jadeja cannot be your fifth bowling option. He has to be your sixth bowling option. If Hardik Pandya is not playing, the entire squad becomes a mess because you have no other bowling options. And even when we are having those bowling options, we are not trying them. Deepak Huda, first game, he could have easily got a bowl. We were winning it so easily. He didn't get a game. So I don't think Jadeja will be very good with the sixth bowling option, but number five, I'm very skeptical. Even in the World Cup, if you remember, if you look at his last 15, 20 games, apart from Scotland and Namibia, where he picked up 3 wickets, he hardly gets any wickets. He goes for plenty. So we are very reliant on the other spinners or the other fast bowlers to do the jobs. At best, he'll do a containing job.
Absolutely. So that's the bowling option. Coming to batting, how good was Surya Kumar Yadav? We will come to him, but before that, the biggest topic of the day, Virat Kohli, who unfortunately started fantastically well. 4-6, and then a shot which could have easily gone either side of the fielder. The stars are not aligned. He dropped a catch, I think a couple of missed fields. What can we do to help Virat Kohli?
I think you almost need people to get off his back. But yeah, but it's been so long that a lot of the criticism is, and I'm a huge Virat Kohli supporter, huge fan. So a lot of the criticism is sort of justified. But yeah, I think he should just keep going. I mean, those two shots, that's probably the two most memorable shots. That stayed six. He didn't waste any balls, which was very good. I think where India lost the game were between Shreyas Iyer, Rohit, Pant, and Karthik. They played like 30, 40 to 47 balls for 45 runs. That's like pretty much almost 8 overs for hardly anything. And in the remaining 12 overs, you got 150 plus. So I think strike rate is an issue, but I'm not just concerned for Virat, I'm concerned for Rohit as well. He's not getting those big runs. If you're getting 15, 20 runs here and there, not necessarily making the impact that he could easily. Virat in his prime would score so many runs, and he's obviously averaging 50 plus. I think he's not looking at bad next, so I'm really hoping that he comes good in before the end of this tour to England. Pandey International is probably his best suited format. He loves chases, which you'll probably get plenty to chase if England bat first, considering how they bat. So I'm hoping he'll come good. He's our ace player. We really need him.
Absolutely. And talking about Shreyas Iyer, again, he got a chance today. It was pretty crucial game. It'll be interesting to see if he will be in the contention for the West Indies series, which is coming up after the one-day internationals. But let's talk about Surya Kumar Yadav. Grabbed the opportunity with both the hands, a century in T20 cricket, ended up with 117 runs of 55 balls, that is 212 strike rate with 14 fours and 6 sixes. Single handedly, he brought us back into the chase.
Absolutely, he's the only one who was keeping us in contention. And had it been for slightly better innings from Shreyas and the finishing touches which we were so used to seeing from Dinesh Karthik, which is another concern, and Jadeja couldn't hang around. So in the end, he was left with no choice but to just farm the strike and try to get all the runs himself, which was just too much in the end. So fantastic now, probably the best 100 you'll see in a losing cause. And that's where grabbing opportunities when you get like Sanju Samson, he had opportunities every now and then, but making it big. Deepak Huda got that opportunity. He scored 100. People will remember that. Virat Kohli hasn't got 100 in T20 internationals. Surya Kumar's got it now. Someone coming in after number 3 to get it for the first time for India. So yeah, really happy for him because he's done those hard yards and eventually got his chances. So he's making the most of it, and it's a bit unlucky, but yeah, we got to see a good match and a great innings.
Yeah, and selectors definitely do have a headache when it comes to batting department. I think bowlers, they are fairly clear about the choices they have to make, but batters, for example, today, Sky scoring that 100 necessarily booked his spot in the squad, for as far as I'm concerned. And second, they have decisions to make with Shreyas Iyer. They have decisions to make Dinesh Karthik, who had a superb IPL, but a average international series so far. So between Kishan, Pant, and DK, only two can go. Do you agree, or do you see all three of them onto the squad?
I think, in my opinion, and we all love Dinesh Karthik. I think Dinesh Karthik has missed the boat after this series. If you look at his last 5 games, and even if you include this South Africa series, he's had that 150. Then he had a 30 odd in a losing cause, I think. But after that, he's just literally done nothing, and at crucial stages. So I think they'll probably invest in a youngster. They'll stop this experiment of Rishabh Pant because KL Rahul would straight away walk into this team opening. I would think so. If Rishabh Pant had succeeded as an opener, they might have different plans. Maybe, okay, let's try KL Rahul as a finisher. Or who knows, they might try Deepak Huda as a finisher. They have to try something or the other because the problem we have is apart from Dinesh Karthik, who was a genuine finisher for RCB, everyone else pretty much bats in top 3 for their franchises. So you have to manufacture something. So from that perspective, Dinesh Karthik is the only person effectively who's suitable for that role because that's what he does for his side. But I think he'll miss out on the next series. This is what I would expect. I would much rather bank on or punt on Rishabh Pant and Ishan Kishan if it was to be.
And meanwhile, another one-day international is going on. New Zealand versus Ireland. Ireland almost pulled off an upset. New Zealand just won off the second last ball, chasing 300 and 300 score. So unfortunate for Ireland, but fantastic. There was a century scored by the Irish batter, and New Zealand was struggling at a point in time. So we see that a lot of folks are supporting us by watching the channel, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. Means a lot to us. While you're there, just click that like button. Tell your friends to follow us or subscribe to us. And of course, as usual, our usual suspects of Andy, Aniruddha, and Vichak are engaging. So what next for England perspective? Of course, you were a big fan of England. You said 3-0 England. Now it's 2-1. So headaches for England for a World Cup?
Yeah, obviously this is the new regime. Butler's still probably learning the tricks of the trade. one thing which cannot he cannot afford is people not completing their overs in time, and that's why probably he got Moeen Ali to bowl the 19th to finish on time, so that it doesn't have the extra fielder to be in the 30-yard circle. But I think he'll learn, and I think as long as he fires with the bat, the results will take care of itself. Big pluses, Reece Topley,
He's the
then
player of the match, by the way, Reece Topley now.
yeah, Gleason done really well in the previous game. So I think it's just their batting that didn't come good. But they've got enough firepower to do well at the World Cup and in the next series they play. So yeah, I think considering it's in Australia, not too much spinning hopes for any side, to be honest. But I think England would do well, like they always do. After Owen Morgan, people have to just start getting used to Butler, the captain. And yeah, I think this is a good shock for them, for the system. I had no hopes of India winning, but obviously I get everything wrong, so not a surprise.
Anyway, and Josh Butler post match says that this is one of the best hundreds he has seen. So credit to Surya Kumar Yadav. Reece Topley for his 3 for 22 is the player of the match, and then Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, the power play hero, is the player of the series. Hopefully, Bhuvi continues to stay fit and Rohit uses him in the first 10 overs and doesn't let him slip into the last 4 overs. I think we have a gem in waiting for World Cup with Bhuvi's swing.
No, definitely. I think if you remember, Bhuvi was almost out of the side, and surprisingly, Rohit, when the change of captaincy happened, Rohit got him in, and since then he's not looked back. Even at the IPL, we thought the prize he went for was relative to how his form was at that point in time, but he's probably much more valuable these days with his as long as he gets the ball swing. So yeah, very happy for him. I hope he can improve with his bat as well. I think that will be very, very useful for India. Him, Bumrah, Harshal Patel, who looks like a certainty, to be honest, at this point in time, and along with a couple of others, maybe Shami and Avesh, should do it nicely for India.
Okay. And post-match presentation, Rohit Sharma is holding nothing back. He's saying middle order partnerships costed us the match, which clearly is Shreyas Iyer, and I think a part to play is DK as well.
Yeah, I mean, Shreyas Iyer, that 110 strike rate at any point in time in T20 is damaging to the batting side, and when it's at a chase where you 218 to get the other guy scoring at 210, 220, it would have been better for him to get out slightly earlier, would have allowed maybe the others to get a chance. But even DK and Jadeja, I think DK's performance has been the most disappointing for me, because I think that's one slot which we lack firepower if Hardik Pandya is not there. So yeah, I think he had a great opportunity to almost cement his plate for Australia, but now I think it's 50-50. They might easily turn around and go with a young person.
Excellent. Good stuff. So again, we are pleased and we feel encouraged for all the support because we see the viewer count is increasing by the hour, which is great. We will continue to bring the content. Sanjay?
We should do a quick preview of the ODI series as well, considering what back-to-back T20s, and the next 4 days we have two ODIs. I'm worried for Rohit Sharma. Six international games in what? Sorry, four international games in 6 days. I think that'll be a true test of his fitness. What do you think, Suman?
You're right. Yeah. Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday are the one day internationals coming up. Fitness definitely will be tested. I mean, he should be relatively be fresh because he hasn't played the test match. So, and 20 over games should not have too much of an impact as long as you're doing your end of day drills and start of day drills. But it'll be interesting to see how the one day international squads will be structured. Hopefully, again, Harshdeep Singh's gets the run because it's a longer format. There's a lot to look forward from a Virat Kohli point of view, as if there is not enough pressure on him. There are three more games which he needs to sustain the pressure. And from a bowling point of view, it will be interesting to see how they will utilize Bumrah. Will they give him all the three games, given that there is a hectic second half of the year coming up? And I know a lot of people lost interest in one day internationals, but guess what? I think that was the only white ball tournament outside of Test cricket we used to watch. So yeah, like you mentioned, Kohli loves the format. He's a chase master for a reason. So lots to look forward for. Hopefully there will be a good fight. But I think you still said 2-1 England, isn't it? On Gorilla Channel.
Yes, so you got it right. Obviously, for the T20s, I'll probably get it wrong again. I think England might win 3-0 or whatnot, because England do almost play the ODIs as an extension of the T20 format. Although it was what Netherlands, they almost got a 500 run in 50 overs. So they'll just continue with how they've been performing under Owen Morgan. So very interesting. Series coming up, and it's a very quick tour, but there's lots of game jam packed Tuesday, Thursday, then Sunday. It'll be interesting to see how India performs. Lots of because although it's a T20 World Cup year, you almost have to start looking ahead to the World Cup next year, which will be coming very soon in 14 months or so.
And Shijo, welcome back. Been a long while, and he has a valid comment. We totally forgot about Sanju Samson. It is interesting to know that Sanju is also in the mix. We always spoke about Dinesh Karthik, Ishan Kishan, and Rishabh Pant in the mix. But Shijo, you point out the good one that Sanju Samson. Why aren't we trying Sanju Samson? But unfortunately, there are so many batters in India. We are spoiled for choices right now. But again, it'll be interesting to hear from Sanjay what he thinks about Samson, who we totally missed out about.
So Samson, obviously anyone who sees him bad loves him. His best innings came when Huda got the 100. This is where he has to make the difference. Chances are not going to come thick and fast. There are so many options available for India. Anyone who gets a chance has to grab them with both hands. Sanju Samson has been there for a while. His time will come. I still think that his time will come. But whether it comes for this World T20 or next year's ODI World Cup, we won't really know. I think if India doesn't perform very well, effectively, if India doesn't win the World T20 this year, I think there'll be lots of long-term changes that will happen in the team. And that's where the likes of Rahul Tripathi, Sanju Samson, Huda, all these guys might start getting more regular chances.
Yeah, and दत्ता बुख्तारे मोहब्बत का एहसास तो हम दोनों को हुआ था फर्क सिर्फ इतना था कि उसने किया था और मुझे हुआ था वाह 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 सब्सक्राइब करिए प्लीज Andy Andy talks about who should be our playing 11 for the one day international. So any thoughts over there? We spoke about it, but what are you thinking should be the playing 11?
I think it'd be very similar to what we have currently. I can't. I think KL Rahul is still injured. I can't think of any players outside of the players who've been in the mix in this format. I don't think DK will get a chance in the ODIs. Someone else might. But yeah, I'm really hoping that Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli. These are the two guys I'm really looking forward. Excuse me, to having a very good series and effectively just carrying that confidence into the later half of the year, where we have the Asia Cup and the big World T20. So those are the two players I'd be keeping very close eye on. I'd be keeping a close eye on Hardik Pandya if he plays all the matches. He's been rested today, I would imagine, and I'd also like to see how Rohit Sharma holds up with his body and fitness, which is always a concern considering he's now the captain for all three formats. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how but it won't be different to what the players have been in the current mix.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the squad. We have Sharma, Bumrah, Chahal, Dhawan, Iyer, Jadeja, Kohli, Kishan, Prasidh Krishna probably might get a look at it. Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, Akshar Patel, Shami, Arshdeep Singh, Siraj, Thakur, and Yadav. So Prasidh Krishna probably will get a chance because he was pretty consistent with the white ball, especially in ODI series versus West Indies, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think, and last year as well, he did very well against England. He leaks runs, but he always gets wickets. So I think Prasidh Krishna might get a go ahead of, say, an Avesh Khan or, for that matter, even Shami. So yeah, ODI format, bilateral series, there might not be much interest in a lot of the people, but it is something which everyone would keep a close eye on, especially when Virat Kohli is playing. He dropped a catch today. I can just sense that he's got the burden of the world, so he needs to just break out and get some runs so that he can move on and get more runs.
Absolutely. Excellent. So, decent end to the Sunday. It was a high scoring game. We're still waiting for Super Over, by the way. Hopefully, World Cup does not disappoint us, or maybe the West Indies series will fetch us a Super Over. Ireland fans, tough luck. You gave the best, almost upset the Kiwis. And last question, let's take from Shiju Nair. Guess Shreyas Iyer is not right fit for T20 squad, but an important pick for ODIs.
Shreyas Iyer, I think, yeah, he's not doing any favor to himself in the T20s, but yeah, ODI is a very good format for him. Just like I think for Virat Kohli, he's not got the power game, but he'll do well. He will get those sixes here and there. I think it might be a more suited format. Big problem is short ball, and if that continues, I think it'll be a headache for the selectors because he's got very good quality to be a number four, number five, and number three for Team India. So I do hope that he does well as well when he gets his chances, and grabs them with both hands.
Great stuff. Excellent. So we'll continue to bring the action as much as possible. I know it's getting busy from a cricket season point of view, but we will stay tuned. So thanks for supporting us. Drop us a comment, click on the like button, and also please subscribe. Sanjay Dubey, thanks for your time again. Enjoy
Thank
the rest of the Sunday in UK, and we'll see you next time.
thank you guys.